It's stage one of the 2023 Goodyear 400 at the Darlington Raceway. Martin Truex Jr. is dominating, leading all but just the first lap en route to a stage victory. Daniel Suarez is tail end of the lead lap in 28th place, back there because of a speeding penalty that he got on the first pit stop of the day, while running inside the top 10. Behind Truex is a battle for third place between Bubba Wallace and Ross Chastain, where Wallace is trying to hang on to that third position for some very valuable stage points towards his championship position. For these three drivers, a very similar thing happens, and that similar thing is the inability to pass late in the race because of the next-gen car to get back up to where they should be running. Think about, in this stage, Martin Truex Jr. wins it. Bubba Wallace ends up in third. On the pit stop between the stages, Bubba Wallace enters in third place. However, a slow pit stop relegates him down to 18th place, dropping 15 spots. However, it's Darlington. It's a track where you need to have a good car, you need to have a good driver. He can easily move his way up to 18th, back up to the front. He also has about 200 laps to do it. However, just like Martin Truex Jr. after spinning at the end of stage 2, dropping back to 10th place and having 100 laps to move back up to the front, he doesn't do it. Truex is stuck in 9th before the final yellow. Bubba Wallace is stuck in 13th. And without any shenanigans at the end, it stays like that. Let's go back to a day prior in the Xfinity race. Kyle Larson speeds on the final pit stop, or what was allegedly going to be the final pit stop, and restarts back in 31st with 49 laps to go. Within 5 laps of the restart, he's already moved from 31st up to 18th, passing 13 drivers. Just a lap later, he's in a battle with Joe Graf Jr. and Ty Dillon for another spot. That would be for 16th on the racetrack. Once again, passing cars at will whenever he can. He's already moved up 13 to 14 spots. Once again, 7 laps after the restart. Bubba Wallace, on a long green flag run, moved up as high as 13th place, a gain of 5 spots over an 80-some lap green flag run. Once again, the inability to pass is shocking. Let's go 11 laps after the restart, where Kyle Larson's making 2 more passes, this time on Jeremy Clements and Ross Chastain for 2 more spots closer to the top 10. Once again, Martin Truex Jr., who had one of the dominant cars of the race leading a bunch of laps, could not move higher up than 9th place after getting put back to 10th place after spinning at the end of stage 2. Kyle Larson's now up to 14th and about for 13th with Ross Chastain. Let's go even a few laps after this battle to where we see Kyle Larson running down Josh Berry and Kaz Grala for 10th and 9th place. This comes just 17 laps after the restart. Within 18 laps, Kyle Larson moves from the back of the field, tail end of the longest line because of the penalty, up inside the top 10. 18 laps it takes him to move back up to 10th place. 18 laps. And after 200 laps on Sunday, Bubba Wallace could not move any higher than 13th until late race cautions wrecked a majority of the front runners. And once again, Martin Truex Jr. could not move any higher than 9th place until his pit crew gained him 5 spots on the final restart of the race. And fortunately for Larson, after moving to 9th place, a caution comes out late in the race. He's up in 6th place. He has a shot, and he ends up winning the race after some late race restarts and some cautions. While he wasn't going to win, he was certainly going to get a top 5 finish after speeding. He was going to pass 25 or more cars. In just 49 laps, he moved from 31st to 1st. Now you may say, well, that's different. That's an Xfinity race with a Cup driver. In Xfinity, there's only about 10 or 12 cars that can compete for the win on a weekly basis. I agree. So let's go to something very similar to Sunday. It's a Cup race. The 2007 Dodge Avenger 500. Very similar circumstance here. Denny Hamlin has the dominant car, or one of the best cars of the race. He enters pit road in 2nd, but a very, very, very slow pit stop, like Bubba Wallace, moves him from 2nd place back to 16th, a drop of 14 positions. Remember, Bubba Wallace went from 3rd place back to 18th, a drop of 15 positions. However, Bubba had 200 laps moved through the field. Denny has 58 laps to go on the restart, and he makes the most of it. Just 8 laps after the restart, he's moved from 16th up to 11th. Now you may say, all right, he's moved up 5 spots. What's the big deal? This is the time when these were single file restarts and lap cars restart on the bottom. So Denny, restarting back in 16th, may as well have been restarting in 25th. And then just 10 laps after the restart, he's up in 10th. He's on the back bumper of 2 Roush Racing cars. 2 cars that had the speed to win races that year, and he is able to pass them at will. Right here, he passes Greg Biffle for 9th place. Not too far up the road is Matt Kenseth for 8th, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. for 7th. Once again, able to pass cars at will with a fast race car. Fortunately for Hamlin, some yellows come out after he gets to 8th place. And then some strategy ensues. With how late the race is, just 20 laps to go, it's going to restart with 19 to go. The top 6 cars stay out, 2 of which were behind Denny Hamlin. What this means is that Hamlin goes from 8th place to now 10th place. However, he's the 4th highest car on fresh tires in that 10th position. But he has 19 laps. Remember, Bubba Wallace had 200 laps to go from 18th to 13th. That's as high as he went. 200 laps, he moved up 5 positions. Denny Hamlin, if he wants to win the race, has to pass 9 cars in 19 laps. Some yellows come out. After that first restart that just happened with 19 to go, he actually dropped back to 11th place. But then he passes cars at will, and with 8 laps to go, just about 50 laps after that one restart where he had his pit road issue, he's in a 3-way battle with Ryan Newman and Jimmy Johnson for 2nd place. And guess what? He gets to 2nd place. The position he was in when the pit issue happened, Denny Hamlin gets back to it. It took him 50 laps. With 200 laps to go, Bubba Wallace could not get from back to 3rd place from 18th. Martin Truex Jr. with 100 to go couldn't get back to the lead from 10th place. What does that mean? Well, Darlington has always been a track which is hard to pass on. That's a fact. However, the next-gen car makes it so absurdly hard to pass at most racetracks, it is asinine to say Darlington is the reason that those drivers could not move through the field. The proof is in the pudding. Sunday was more of a next-gen car problem than a Darlington is hard to pass problem.